Hello there, this is the first of a little series of instructional videos about the tarot. One thing I would like to say right at the beginning, I am a big advocate of intuitive reading. With the tarot, you can really get a good understanding of what each card means for you. But you do need a little bit of instruction or read a few books or watch a few people to begin with to get an idea of the energy of each card. And then you can really hone it to what it means to you, how it's coming up in readings. And I suggest you keep a journal of your readings so that you can see how you're connecting with the cards. So I am going to give you an instructional video with my take on the cards. I don't use a traditional Rider-Waite deck, but they can be good for learning. But I just never have gelled with the images in the same way as I do with other decks. I tend to like bright, sort of really bright images. So the deck that I'm going to be using with you is called the Gilded Tarot by Ciro Marchetti, who is a wonderful artist. And I just love his images. But choose whatever deck works for you. Always look at what the images are, how they're speaking to you. Do they make you inquisitive? Do they make you excited to know more? Because, you know, the tarot is really a story. And our intuition works so well with story and metaphor. And so that's what we're using. They're the tools that we're using and developing in the tarot. And they really help us to connect with that part of us, that deeper part of us that has the knowing and the understanding that works on the energy level rather than the mundane everyday level. I don't think of doing any sort of reading as anything spiritual, really. To me, it is just one of the skills we do have as human beings that we have neglected. And it is part of the feminine side of us more. And as we all know, the feminine in society as a whole has been pretty neglected. So bringing it back doesn't just help us as individuals, it helps to bring that energy into the collective. And I think that's really important at this time. So what I'm going to do is just do a look at the cards from my perspective, my own understanding, but with the how do I put it, with the also with the understanding that you need to develop your own relationship, because that's what it is. You're using the cards as a tool to develop a relationship with your higher self, the one that knows, the part of you that is the neglected part. I've written a book called How to Read Oracle Cards, which has been available on Amazon for nearly 10 years, I think. And it needs updating, really. But in that book, you will find practices that you can use to develop your intuition, really hone your intuition. And that is about Oracle cards, but it can be used with tarot as well. Because Oracle cards are quite different. They will give you a specific message. I think of those as a message from your higher self, whereas the tarot, you're developing the relationship with your higher self. Slightly different. But anyway, today we are going to start off with the one who this tarot journey is all about. This is the Fool's story. And the Fool is the energy of potential. He is the innocence, the happiness, the joy of a child. He is the one who goes forward with no fear. The one who is happy-go-lucky. It's that feeling in childhood of there's no limits, nothing can stop you. Everything is there for you to experience. and you never feel that you're going to experience it as anything bad. You know, you might go racing your bike down a hill as a child with the feeling of exhilaration and see nothing of the dangers that it could bring. We've all experienced that in our lives. The Fool is, from a more metaphysical perspective, it's like, I think of it as the void that is full of everything. It is like the cosmic womb, the place where everything exists. And if we're swimming in that place of pure potential, we can grasp anything and go with it. And so the action that the Fool really wants to take is a leap of faith in a direction that looks exciting and adventurous and he thinks will bring him happiness. But he hasn't got a plan. He doesn't know how it will work out. He is just the potential of an idea. So in a reading, when the Fool comes up, it's a new start, but it's a new start in the void. It's where you see around you that pure potential of something, but you haven't got any, you might be feeling the excitement of it and you're wanting to go towards it, but you're not understanding how. And actually that doesn't matter, because to take a leap of faith, you're just following your heart. Now, in the traditional Rider-Waite, you will see that he has a dog snapping at his heels. And here, in this one, we have a hoop around his leg. Now, to me, that is that playful energy. It is the hoopla. He's having fun. In its reverse position, and you can choose whether to read tarot with reverse positions or not. I would suggest not when you first start. Always read it upright. Get used to what it means upright before you start reading reverse. And for reversals, sometimes a reversal is just pay attention to this message. And if you have a reversal and it comes up, the same card comes up again in a reading, because you're using a clarifier deck, which is you're using 2 tarot decks. So sometimes you'll get a card repeating, then you'll definitely know that it was trying to say, you need to pay attention to this. But in reverse, it's like you're being held back from your potential. Something is holding you back. Something is warning you. So it could be that somebody else is pulling you back, or a fear is holding you back. And it does depend on other cards in the deck. All of these interpretations depend on other cards in the deck. But it can also be that you're holding yourself back because you don't feel it's quite time to take a leap of faith. The potential is there, but you haven't really got to grasp with it in your heart. You haven't really honed in on that potential that you want to follow. Okay, so this is the journey of the Fool. So today we are also going to look at the Magician and the cards that go with the Magician, which are the Aces. So all the minor arcana up to 10 definitely work with the major cards. And then, you know, there are ways that you can look at the higher majors after 10 and develop a way of bringing them in with the minor cards. Like, to me, just as an example, Justice, because it's about balance and 2 things and 2 sides. Justice goes very well with the 2s as well as the High Priestess. So, you know, you can interpret, but we'll look at those as we go higher up the majors. But we're going to start with this Magician. The Magician has all the tools he needs. So this is the Fool who has taken the leap of faith. He has an Ace of Pentacles, which is earth energy. Pentacles are that earthy, grounded, material realm. He has the Ace of Wands, which is fire, passion, the soul, what your soul is after doing, what you're being propelled into. The Ace of Cups, which is your emotions, water, and this is love, nurturing, flow. The Ace of Swords, which is air, mental, clarity, intellect, intelligence, thoughts, all those. So these are the tools that this magician has. So the Fool has become this magician. He has taken the leap of faith and he's opened up his knapsack and he's sitting at the bottom of the cliff and he's going, I've got all these things here. What am I going to do with them? These are all new starts. I can go in any direction, or I need all of these ideas to take me in a really concrete direction. And that will depend on the reading. But if you get the magician in a reading and one of the aces, or more than one, you will know what sort of new start we're talking about. So if it was the Ace of Pentacles, it's a new start that could be financial, it could be about your abundance, it could be in health, it could be in creativity, it could be a new start in how your material landscape looks. It could be to do with a new job. I'm going to just put him here, but I don't know how well you're going to see him, but I'm going to put him here. Ace of Swords is that clarity for a new start. It's seeing the potentials and a direction they can go in, like using your intelligence, your intellect, seeing the truth of something, having that like light cutting through the clouds, that real mental clarity of where to go next. The Ace of Cups is often seen as a new start in love, relationships, or it can be a new start within an existing relationship. And this doesn't have to just be romantic relationships. It can be any, because cups are just emotions, okay? They are our emotional realm. So it can also be a new start within your own personal emotions. I always think of the Ace of Cups as, in the traditional Rider-Waite, there's a lot of flow coming from the cups. And I think of it as, this is you being in artistic flow, poetic flow. If it came up, for instance, Ace of Swords and Ace of Cups, you could be really in that artistic, dreamy flow of inspiration. Okay, so those two together could mean that. And the Ace of Wands, this is energy, this is fire, passion. It can be sexual energy. It is energy that will take you forward into a new adventure. It's like your soul calling you, you know, that real heart feeling of, I need to go in this direction. I can see the adventure before me and it's exciting and it's full of potential. It's that feeling. So Ace of Wands is the real passion and fire to make you take that step forward. So the magician with the Ace of Wands would be, I've got everything I need and I've got the real feeling of passion behind me, backing me up. So, as I say, these are all my interpretations, how I use these cards. It doesn't mean that if you use it differently, you're wrong. Other people will have different ways of looking at their cards, and it will depend on the decks you use and the imagery within the decks and what that imagery says to you. So don't be afraid of having your own interpretation. And you might watch one of my readings for you and you may think, oh, she's saying it's that, but actually I think it's that. Go with what you think. Always when you're watching anybody else do a reading, go with what the cards say to you not what the person is saying, because it's what that says to them. But sometimes, you know, listening to other people, it gives you a fresh perspective, a fresh take, and it might give you a little aha moment of, there's an extra dimension there I hadn't thought of. And all of these cards have extra dimensions that come into play when they are in a reading, with how they correspond with other cards around them, crossing them, clarifying them, in the same rows as them, diagonally, vertically, horizontally, whatever. Where they're connected, there is a different interpretation that comes in. I hope that's useful. The next video in this series will be the High Priestess and the Empress. No, actually, no. It will just be the High Priestess. I'm going to do the Empress and the Emperor together, because they very much are masculine and feminine working together. So thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed this. I hope it was useful. Please like, subscribe, enjoy my other videos, and I hope to see you soon.